The year is 2020. As the old financial empires collapsed and crypto drowned in noise and false prophets, one man lost everything. And in that loss, he was called. Through the wreckage of his own failure and the precision of his charts, a higher force revealed what others could not see and entrusted him with a mission to guide others through the chaos he barely survived. They call him Sacred Prophet. And now, the revelation is yours to claim.
Welcome, everyone, to Sunday Fuel for November 30th, 2025. I am your fearless leader, filled with humility and meek beyond meekness. No one, Tom, Sacred Prophet Hartman. Peter, as always, is my trusty sidekick and Aaron in training.
No,
Peter,
I'm not an
back to
Aaron in
Hartman.
training. I'm not just a regular guy doing what's right.
Well, if this is what you are as a full-on person, we're going to have to placement. That's what we're going to do. Give me 1 second here, Peter. If you could just thank everyone for getting our numbers up, or getting subscribers, getting views. If you could just thank everyone there.
Holy crap, people. I don't know what you guys are doing out there. I don't know if it's you're putting bots on our account or something, but we thank you for the views. We are appreciating it. On this Thanksgiving, this American Thanksgiving, which is the wrong Thanksgiving, but American Thanksgiving nonetheless, I want to extend my thanks to you for watching, subscribing to the show, and doing whatever the heck you're doing out there, because it's helping.
Do you want to thank everyone?
Yes, I would like to thank
everyone.
Okay. All right. Don't use me like that. All right. I feel violated.
I need to make people feel a little bit better for the bad news that we're going to be talking about today. Well, bad news for the world in general. Good news for anyone who knows it's coming. It's one of those things. Like, if you knew that Atlantis was going to fall and you prepared for it, it was a pretty good year. Pretty good year.
I don't think it was a good year, regardless if you knew Atlantis was going to fall.
You just have to be up versus the benchmark, Peter. That's what a good year is.
It was a global cataclysm.
Yeah, and it wasn't any individual Atlantean's fault. So they should be flooded into the sea? No. Get onto your life rafts, go into your bunkers, do what you need to do, come up onto the lands, merge with the indigenous people, bring your pine cones in your bags, and share the knowledge of the world. Peter, I will take being alive and ruler of mud people than dead at the bottom of the sea. That's a good year. I wish it had happened now. What are you talking about? You think I just want my life to continue like this? Bring the collapse, bring the meteors, bring whatever, and let's get the zombie apocalypse going. What are we waiting for? All right.
Look, the zombie apocalypse has been happening since 2020. And I think we all know the virus that caused that to happen. All right.
That's right. The woke mind virus.
That's right.
Is that the right one?
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one that ruined.
My trade worked out, Peter.
It's the one that ruined Rings of Power. What?
My trade worked out. $100 on the prop firm account. Nice, easy scalp.
Nice. We got Alfred Dog in the chat here. Hello, hello to you. Happy Thanksgiving, or I don't know, if you're Canadian, then a belated Thanksgiving.
Let the Alfred Dogs out. Who?
I don't think he appreciates that. Oh, or she. I don't know. They. I don't know. Alfred sounds like a boy's name to me. Appreciate you being here. Are you in the trade, Alfred Dog? Are you looking out for Bitcoin? What are your thoughts on this? So you're liking Bitcoin's at 89,000, holding steady. Tom is alluding to the fact that this might not go well. How do you feel about that? Do you care if it goes up or down? I don't know. Tom, so you're making money on the side here? What, you're in a trade? Is your bot? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, it's my bot that's trading. I've just been training it, so I like looking at it. It's one of those things, like, I let my little kid loose, and he has to, like, walk the tightrope, and he has to do the thing, and he has to not miss his lines, and sometimes he does miss his lines, and I sort of cringe a little bit. And I go, do I have to disown him, or can we just let this go? It's just like a one-time thing, and he's going to learn from it. So it's only been, what is it, a week now that I've been running this strategy. It's been making money. It's up. So I want it to keep on going, because if it keeps on going, then I'm going to scale it out across different prop firms, and I'm going to be one of those guys that I see making $50,000, $100,000 in a month, and I'm pretty eager for that.
Are you gonna share with us this bot? Are we gonna get this strat?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole point. I'm doing it. Like I've made this clear to everyone before. I want you to make money so that I make money. I want you to make money so that I can make money. That's how you know we're on the same team, right? As long as you're paying attention to me, you're giving me your likes, giving me your clips, giving me signups, doing the subscriptions, I will give everything I can to you. That means I will risk my reputation and capital and marriage in order for this to be successful. We're both in this together. And I'm only asking for a small thing. I'm asking for very little from you, and I'm giving you everything of me. So
Okay. Right.
So I'm learning, I'm making these strategies because people are like, hey, Tom, you're giving us trend signals. I want trade signals. I want strategies. I want things that could press a button and it trades on my behalf. Okay,
Yeah.
baby bird.
That's what I've been saying.
I get it. That's what you want. You want Papa Profit to take care of you. I got it. I understand.
I don't know why your audio cut out there when you made that sound effect, but anyway. Alfred Dog in the chat is saying, I'm waiting for altcoin season.
Altcoin season probably not happening. Or we already had altcoin season. Whatever the hell happened, that's what it was. Trump coin was the peak of it. Pepe before that?
No.
Not really going to be happening. But
no, I don't want to hear that.
But the next cycle after that should be pretty outstanding. If the bear market is about to start in 30 days, which is what we're going to take a look at today, then we have our countdown. Peter, here's the best part. If bear market starts for Bitcoin in 30 days, that means that the October 20th, hey, 4-year cycle, Bitcoin's going to go down, is actually still on track. It didn't actually waver. Right. We're still on track for that, right. Which means in about 365 to 400 days from then, we get the end of the bear market. That's the bottom, and we could rise from there. So that's what we're going to talk about over the next 20 minutes or so. I'm going to lay out some of the early signs that I've been paying attention to, that I've been talking about for the last year, that are playing out right now, that makes me think that it's very likely Bitcoin is headed into its bear market.
2 questions.
Let's hear it.
1, we here at Sacred Profit can still make money in a bear market. In fact, we might be able to make more money in a bear market. No?
That's right. That's exactly what I've been waiting for. I don't really care so much about the bull market because you can't tell how high a price will go. Really. Will there be euphoria? Will there be options market? Will there be derivatives? You don't know what's going to happen. But when you go down, you're far more likely to be able to peg the bottom. Peg the bottom than the top. And so there's plenty of opportunity here for us to make money as we fall, and for buying at the bottom, which is what everyone wants in Bitcoin. All right? Who cares about calling on the top? No one wants to call it top. You're a Peter Schiff. If you're calling on the top of things, call the bottom. Let's get in when there's blood in the streets. Tell me when I should get back in, and that's what I'm eager for. So either if you're a degen like me, make money on the way down, and if you're patient, when we get down to the bottom, tell you when to buy from there.
Second, wasn't there some type of thinking here where we thought that there were some machinations behind the scenes that was keeping Bitcoin low for a reason?
Yes, taking advantage of the low liquidity in order to really screw the pooch there. So yes, the thing with that is I don't know for certain, so I don't really want to be speculating. You know, could it be China? Could it be Russia? Could it be some other actors trying to make the stock market go down and crypto to go down? Yes, possibly. Do I personally think that's the case? Yes, 100% I do. Does it matter? Not at all. Let's just make our money. Read the tea leaves.
I was thinking that if they want it to go down, it's because they're looking to buy for the what they know is going to be the rocket up.
No, I think they're making it go down as economic warfare in World War III, in the information warfare space, in order to weaken the United States and cause them to have to respond in a way that they're almost certainly going to respond and weaken themselves even further.
I don't want to be in an economic war. The only wars I want are in Ukraine and the Middle East. Those are faraway places. Okay, any war that's happening close to home, a vote of no confidence is what I'm going for. Vote of no confidence, change of government. Vote of no confidence. You guys don't understand this, Americans in Canada. You can just like decide to get rid of the prime minister if you wanted
It's
to.
a Star Wars line. Vote of no confidence. I get it.
Oh
That's
yeah,
how Palpatine gets.
of course.
Exactly, Peter. I understand being the not wanting to be inside of an economic war, but so do all people who live to see such times.
All right, Gandalf.
What matters is what you do with the time that is given to you.
Right. Okay. What does your heart tell you? All right. So let's get to it.
I got to get better with the letters. I switched up my thing, so I don't know which one is. I got to keep looking.
You need a
soundboard
stream
is.
deck. I keep meaning to buy you a stream deck. You need a stream deck.
I'll get it at some point. All right, let's
get to the charts, baby.
All right, let's swing over. So we've been talking about the volume weighted moving average, the yearly volume weighted moving average for Bitcoin, as being the thing we pay attention to. That's our line in the sand for bull market, bear market, right? We're looking at global liquidity, we're looking at different assets, and we will take a look at that. But in general, if you just want a simple, any monkey can see this red line on the chart you're seeing here, this red line is the yearly volume weighted moving average. All right, why does that matter? Because when we see the price cross over that, we're in bull market. When we're under that, we're bear market. So we cross over it here in 2015, bull market. We cross down underneath it, bear market. That's the line right there. We cross back over, bull, and so on and so forth. Cross back over here after the COVID drop, bull market. It faked coming down below it, right? Came back up. And it's only when we came below it and confirmed it that we were in that bear market. We crossed over in 2023, March of 2023, crossed over that line for the bull market. And we just crossed over it to the downside here, potentially signaling the bear market. All right. So that was that price level was around 97, 98,000, and we're now at 88 and falling. So once this happens, once we cross below that line, we have to be looking for shorts. I get it. Before that line, up until we get to that line, I'm bullish, because the best time to buy in a bull market is right when you are at that, near that red line. All these periods were great times to buy, right? So you don't want to miss that out. You want to go ahead and buy. We wanted to buy when we were near here. I totally get it. But now that we cross below, we take off our Kamala Harris cap, we put on our Donald Trump cap, and we play with the team that we have. Our president. So what are we looking for here? What we're looking for now is what we're waiting for here is the confirmation of this bear market, right? We're looking for signs of confirmation. So the first confirmation I'm really looking for is for the price of Bitcoin potentially to come up and retest this volume weighted moving average, this red yearly average. This wave comes from our wave indicator that's available at, well, it's on pause right now, but if you message me, I'll let you know. It's available at sacredprofit.com. Actually, Peter, we'll put inside the description of this video the link where people just could go buy it directly if you're interested in that. Or you can obviously just watch the Sunday Fuels in order to get information for free, as I mentioned it. So I'm looking potentially for the price of Bitcoin to rise to around 98,000. Unless Bitcoin rises above 98,000, really the $95,000 to $98,000 range, If it goes back above there and confirms above, then I'll be like, okay, bear market's canceled. Let's go ahead. We're back in the bull market territory. But unless that happens and Bitcoin closes above, let's say 98, I'm looking for shorts. Plus, if it does confirm over there, we're looking for a drop, and the downside for Bitcoin in the cycle is this orange line down here. So this orange line, which is the Lustrum moving average, the Lustrum volume weighted moving average, which is about a 5-year period. So whenever we get down there, that's the low. That level is at about 50,000, between 50 and 53,000, depending on what kind of Bitcoin chart you're looking at. All right. So once we get down to the $50,000 to $53,000 range, that's where I'm buying. Tom, what if it's wrong and it falls, further from there, it goes to zero and Peter Schiff style? Fine. Then what are you going to do? That's the bet you took. Like, you got to buy at some point. You want to buy at all-time highs? That's what I'm going to be buying, around between 50,000 and 53,000. If we get a confirmation off this line that we're headed lower. All right. Now, why am I saying 30 days? Well, we've been expecting liquidity injections, global liquidity injections within the global financial system for several months now, right? If you guys will remember, we had Jerome Powell, who came out in August, forward guiding at the Jackson Hole conference that, hey, yeah, we might have to be looking at rate cuts, right? We had the bad jobs data that was revised in the summer that said there was actually less jobs last year than we thought. And we found out it's like almost 1 million jobs that weren't actually created, that were reported as being created. Not the case. This happened under the Biden administration and the Trump administration. So we were expecting liquidity injections into the market. The opposite happened. If we take a look at the US dollar, which is our sign for financial conditions, we've talked about this again for months and months now. This is our shortcut, taking a look at the financial conditions. What we saw was that on September 17th, 2025, that is when the dollar bottomed. When the dollar goes up, this is negative for financial conditions. This means there's stress within the global financial system. And exactly when they said that we're going to cut in September in 2025, when the Fed made their first rate cut, the dollar started going up and to the right. And every rate cut since, in October and then again in November, the dollar keeps going up. That means, and this usually happens with rate cuts, the first rate cuts is usually bad for markets. We had that bad for market, but it doesn't seem to be recovering yet. The bull market in the medium term and short term, the dollar has broken out into bullish trend. But the trend that we look at for Bitcoin and for the dollar is not on the 2 hour, the 1 day. We're not looking for short term or medium term. We're looking for 3-month trend, the 3-month trend. So if we go to our daily chart and we switch to our 3-month trend, which is another indicator available in that series that you can purchase. What we notice here is we're looking at the dollar, and you see here, Peter, where the dollar goes up. You see how it's green, green, green. So we have the bull market here. Again, green, 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 all the way up. And we had the bull market in the dollar here.
Yeah.
So once those periods start, when those green starts, it means bad for financial conditions. And we're not there yet. We're still on the 3-month. We're still neutral. We're still neutral. But this is how it starts. We get a rise off of a support. So we had support over here. This is the lustrum for the dollar. All right. This orange line is support. We bounced off of it. We confirmed once, twice, and gained distance, right? Over here, when we bounced on it the first time, we went up. We bounced on it again. We went up even further. That means there's persistence down here. And we're in neutral. But if you take a look at the dashboard at the bottom right, you'll notice that even though we're neutral right now, in 30 bars, it'll be bullish. That's why it's green. It says in 30 bars, in 30 days, if this continues, then we will be in bullish trend for the dollar. And if we're bullish trend for the dollar, the opposite is true for Bitcoin. So this is Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin chart with, again, the 3-month trend. And if we take a look over here, once that the US dollar switches, actually, let me do it this way. We'll just pair it up so we can see the Bitcoin at the top and the US dollar at the bottom. Let me just match this up a bit. Let's put this off to the weekly so you can see it. All right. Is that visible, Peter? Is a little bit too squished? Can you see the trends on the chart? I can't hear you, by the way.
Yes, I can see it.
All right. So you see over here is when the dollar broke out the bullish trend in 2018. That same period is over here, in this period here, where Bitcoin fell. All right? Bitcoin falls over here, the dollar's going up. Here, the dollar goes up. This is in 2022. That's over here. That's when this fell. Right? So right at that point, you see where my dotted line is?
Yeah.
Right there is the same period as here. So if we're breaking out the bullish trend again for the dollar, then that would mean that we're falling here. Now, normally I wouldn't have cared, except that we're now below the yearly moving average, that red moving average talked about, the volume weighted moving average for Bitcoin. So that's why I'm looking at this potential bull market in the dollar as being here bearish for Bitcoin. So if I switch this back to the daily, you see here we have 30 days left for Bitcoin before it turns bearish and 30 days left for the dollar before it turns bullish. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Now, normally we're looking for, we won't go into all the details here, and I will talk about it more on Daily Breads all this week. It'll be all about liquidity this week. But some of the sources of liquidity comes from the Fed cutting rates, forward guidance for quantitative easing, the Treasury General Account, the propensity for financial institutions to create credit, and China liquidity injections. All 5 of these things are going pretty bad right now. But we'll talk about it for the rest of the week on Daily Bread. We'll do a deep dive. So
what's Daily Bread?
One more time.
What's Daily Bread?
Daily Bread is a show we do every night from Monday to Thursday night, usually around 11 p.m. live stream, but you can catch it the next day, where we talk about the big macro news of that day that's affecting markets. And because we're in this holiday season, I've been taking the opportunity for these weekly Daily Breads to be specific on a theme. So if you watch all those Daily Breads, usually about 15, 20 minutes, you get a crash course in, hey, what this topic is, what this thing is. So last week, we did the negative gamma spirit bomb, all about negative gamma in the option space, which has been super useful in order to get a sense of why are we getting downdrafts in NASDAQ, S&P, in equities. This week, we're going to be talking about global liquidity and what it means here. What are the signs that we're actually turning lower? That we're going to have a little bit of a bounce, potentially. It won't really go that far, and we would roll lower unless something dramatic happens, which Scott Bessent did come out, I think, just a couple of days ago, even I think this weekend, saying, hey, Donald Trump is going to make a big announcement probably before Christmas, but we'll see.
A big announcement?
Yeah, they're doing their own form of forward guidance.
I think they're going to send out checks. They're going to lose the midterms. They're going to have to do something. They're going to lose the midterms. At the very least, they'll lose the House. If they lose the Senate, oh my God. Nothing's going to get done for 2 years. Then elections. Correct. And then who knows?
That's right.
America, get your shit together, right? Get your shit together, all right? America, you better get your shit together. I'm sick and tired of your shit, America. Get your shit together, America. God damn it.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
I don't care what they do. I just care that they tell me what they're going to do so I can be placed beforehand.
Right.
Send it up or down. Just keep it in that direction. I don't like up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Unless they tell me it's going to be up and down and up and down and up and down. Fine, then I'll trade that. But don't tell me it's going to be raining and then it's sunny. And don't tell me it's going to be sunny and then it's raining. Just tell me what it's going to be. All right? It's sort of, oh no, I was going to make a very terrible joke there. That's not going to work.
What terrible joke were you going to make?
Well, I was like, how can you talk about domestic violence with it?
Oh my God, never mind. I'm sorry I asked. I'm sorry I asked.
We just undo that. All right. Quickly, Peter, I want to talk about the levels that I'm taking a look at for this week.
Just before we, okay, hang on. Just before we do that, in the chat, Alfred Dog, he said this a while ago. A lot of liquidity usually flows in during the first week of the month. Is that true?
Yes. Well, that happens because of rebalancing. So there's a bunch of window dressing that happens at the end of the month. People are closing out their books. People make things look a certain way at the end, and then at the beginning of the month, they can then redeploy whatever liquidity they have in order to do it. Plus, if the markets have been up during that period of time, and the active participants in the market are not beating the benchmarks, then they have to take larger risk in order to meet their goals, or else they're going to lose their job. So yes, you can get a lot of stuff at the beginning of the week, but the question here is December 1st, we're supposed to have quantitative tightening basically stopping, or all but stopping, and maybe even quantitative easing starting. And I suspect we're to get further liquidity injections into the SRF, the repo market, but
give it to me right there. Give it to me. But
the problem is that the markets are already in withdrawal, right? So you get the bubbles and euphoria and the large rises when the market's already going up and they're doing that. Then you get your heroin bump. But if you're in withdrawal, if you get in the a little bit of the hair of the dog that bit you, you're getting back up to normal. Barely.
Give it the gas. Give it the goose. Double the dosage.
That's what Donald Trump wants to do.
Look, Donald Trump, from the man who gave us, no, actually, it wasn't Donald Trump who gave that. Take a page out of Joe Biden's book. From the man who gave us boosters, give us the boosters. All right? I want the boosters. Boost me.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'll take autism if its stock markets go up. You know what I mean? I'll take the equivalent of myocarditis. Let's put all the keywords in there.
Let's just get. Are we going to be monetized? What advertisers are going to want to advertise on this thing?
All right. So the levels that we're taking a look at this week. Again, we're at a nice edge right now. We had a big move up in equities. Let's start with S&P. So you might be wondering, how do we get this big drop down and rise back up? That's because of negative gamma, folks. Negative gamma has market makers who have to chase the price wherever it goes. You want to find out more about that? Go take a look at Daily Bread over the last week. Even though we do it every day, there's plenty of evergreen content there. It'll tell you about it, and you could have made that money. I said it, Peter, right at this low over here. Expect a 1,000-point rise in the NASDAQ, and that's exactly what we got. So wow. I don't know what else to do but to tell people exactly how to make money and when to do it. If they don't want to take the trade, that's on them. So the level for the S&P futures for the week ahead to be targeting is a lower level at 67.58. From where we are right now, that would be a drop of about 1.17% or 80 points. Plenty of money on the table there. All right. That's for the week ahead for S&P. For the NASDAQ, the level we're taking a look at to the downside would be, the level to take a look for the upside for the S&P is none. I have no levels to the upside, so that does not bode well. The level to the downside for the NASDAQ would be 25,000 even, with a potential upside, a weak potential upside to 26,120. Obviously, the bias here is towards the downside, that we're having a lower high over here and it will roll over. That would be the expectation. For Bitcoin, we are looking at the weekly level for this week being at 88.9, so 88,900. That's the likely drop, but we already crossed that since we talked. So what does that mean? That means now if the price goes up from over here, confirms that level and rolls over, we're going down.
Oh boy.
All right. But not for nothing here. That remember I was talking about that level, the volume weighting average price around 98,000 we're looking at. It's coinciding with a volume weighted average price, a level here, not a volume weighted average price, a level, a VWAP level that has been unmitigated at around 99,000. So I would not be surprised to get one final run up there at some point, and then a rolling over lower. I'm not saying that the market's going to go down. I'm saying that when the price goes towards the underside of a level, you short it. When it comes down from on top, you long it. That's just the rule that we follow here. But this does suggest, hey, it's all gearing up here for the price to rally, sucker everybody in, and it sends it down the other way. And if we take a look at gold,
there's your opportunity to make a lot of money. There's your opportunity.
Yes. Well, here at this point, I'm sort of like in limbo mode for Bitcoin, because we don't know. There's going to be a bunch of liquidity changes starting December 1st. Like I said, Trump wants to make an announcement. They're going to slow down quantitative tightening. Who knows what's going to go on in the PBOC in China? We don't know what's happening, and so I don't really like taking those gambles when I have no idea what's going on, especially when you're dealing with 50x leverage. But if you're dealing with prop firms, I should just target those levels and enjoy your gains. So there is money to be made, but it's not any more money to be made at this period than just trading intraday on prop firms or whatever you're going to be doing. The real big money that I want to be making is once the bear market has been confirmed, I'm not going to be sitting there like wishing that the Bitcoin goes back up or trying to catch a bottom wherever some big bounce happens. I'm going to be shorting 50x leverage. Once I get to a level, I'll cover. Once it bounces back up, I'm going to buy that bounce back up or short that bounce and make money all the way down to around 53,000. That's the money I want to make. And between here and there is what? Is that a 50% drawdown? Something like that. Let's just take a quick look. So if we do get around there, no, it's even less than that. So yeah, from here, we can have another 40% down, right? So at 50x leverage, that's a healthy payday, 20 times your money. I'll take it.
You said that what signals the start of a Bitcoin bear market is a drop of greater than 50%. Is that true?
No, that's not the start. Is that you definitely know you're in a bear market when you've dropped more than 50%.
Right.
Because the average drop, not the average, but the larger sigma drops that you normally get in Bitcoin in a bull market is 33%.
Right.
So you have to get beyond that, but you can still get 50% drops even in a bull market. We had one last time. It could still happen. What matters is, to me, at the end of the line is, are we below that volume weighted average price? If the drops brings us below that, that's where I'm going to start looking for downside. Now, what's interesting here, you might notice that the drop I'm talking about over here, the drop from peak to trough, is something like a 60% drop, which is on the lower side of the amount of downside that we normally get for Bitcoin, right? Where sometimes we've seen 70% drops or more in Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin has been maturing and the volatility has been lowering, the amount of the drop has been lower. The high, as we saw, is lower if we are headed into a bear market, but the volatility is lower still. So you get this narrowing of this band. So we don't go up as far, but we don't go down as far, which is even better for us trading 50x leverage, because we could just trade in that chop, which is great for us. All right. Well, the Lord of Liquidity has more whispering to do in my ears. He holds me tight and gives me his dulcet tones as he pours his love deep within me. So I will go rest, take his whispers, and bring them to you next week on Sunday Fuel. But until then, I wish you, as always, a happy week.